I hate everything about the Miami Dolphins. I hate everything about the Miami Dolphins. I'm glad that I told myself that I wouldn't set myself up for disappointment, and I went into this game expecting us to lose. That's the thing, that's the funny thing about it. I went into this game thinking we were going to lose. But man, I'm I'm in a loss for words. I really am, man. I am in an absolute loss for words about that performance today by the Dolphins. You're telling me that we faced one of the worst defenses in the NFL and we were only able to put up 10 points? 10 points on a bottom 5 defense in the NFL. The Indianapolis Colts do not have a good defense. Their defense stinks. It is not good. And we made their defense look like this 2015 Seattle Seahawks Legion of Doom. We made them look like a top 5 defense in the NFL. And we lost this game today when Anthony Richardson had a performance of 10 for 24, 129 yards. Now, he did use his legs a lot today, which I'm not surprised about at all. They were able to run all over us in the second half, but I'm not blaming this game on the defense. Not one single bit am I blaming this game on the defense. Because this offense, they just continue to put them in bad situation after bad situation after bad situation. It's horrible, man. For once, it looked like we had life. For once, it looked like we were controlling a game. 30 seconds to go in the second half. The Dolphins had a 10-0 lead. And in one play down the field to Michael Pittman Jr., you let the Colts get in field goal range. Matt Gay makes a 50-plus yard field goal. And all of a sudden, that 10-0 lead you were going to carry at halftime goes to 10-3. And I knew at that moment right there, when they allowed those 3 points at halftime to the Indianapolis Colts, I knew we were losing this game. I knew we were going to let this game slip away in our hands, and we gave the game to the Indianapolis Colts. We gave them this game. And we put on a display on how bad teams lose football games. Mistake after mistake, penalty after penalty, no accountability. They knocked Tyler Huntley out of the game with a shoulder injury. Tim Boyle throws the ball out of bounds on 4th down with the game on the line. That last play, with Boyle throwing the ball out of bounds, that sums up our entire season so far for the Miami Dolphins. But you get mistake after mistake. Raheem Mostert, a game-changing fumble, which was like a 12-yard run, which turned into a fumble. That changed the game. That's game. If Raheem Mostert doesn't fumble the football, we might have won this game. And you put a great drive together with Tim Boyle. I think this was his first series in at quarterback. and you get the ball at the 12, you're on their 12-yard line, bro. You're not on their fucking 2 or 1 yard line. You're on their 12-yard line, and Jalen Wright is having a great series, and you go fullback dive on first down, and guess what happens? Alec Ingle fumble, Colts ball. Just the player execution, the penalties, the play calling by the coach. It's terrible, man. It is absolutely terrible. And I'm here to tell you right now, before we get further into this game, for all you Dolphin fans out there that think Tua Tagovailoa is going to potentially come back next week and save a 2-4 season from the Miami Dolphins, I got news for you. You're going to be very disappointed. You are going to be very disappointed if you think one player is going to change the result of the entire season. They have a laundry list of issues. And may I add, these issues have been going on since week 1, when Tua Tagovailoa was the starting quarterback. The season's miserable. Just look at their 2 wins. They barely beat the 2-5 Jacksonville Jaguars, and they barely beat the 1-6 New England Patriots. Now we're sitting here at 2-4, with Tua Tagovailoa coming back, and we got the Buffalo Bills in a couple weeks in their place. Yeah, we might win next week versus Arizona. I doubt we even win that game. So you're either looking at 2-6 or 3-5. Ladies and gentlemen, the season's over. The season, I'm going to say it for a second time this year. I said it after the Tennessee game, and I'll say it after today's game versus Indianapolis. The season is over. This team is not, they are not a playoff team. They do not have the personnel to go on a run to make the playoffs. It's over. It's over. And it all starts up top, because the upper management, Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer, Stephen Ross, those 3 did not take the backup quarterback position seriously this offseason. Clearly, they settled for cheap contracts. They didn't want to go out and actually pay a backup quarterback. They settled for Mike White and Skylar Thompson, and it blew up in their fucking face. The whole Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle, Tyler Huntley experience blew up in their face. It got us nowhere. It got this team nowhere. It got this team to a 2-4 record going into week 8. This team has no chance. And if you think Tua Tagovailoa is going to come back and save the season, man, God bless you. God bless you, man. The Indianapolis Colts beat the Miami Dolphins today, 16-10, and the Dolphins are now 2-4 on the season. I'm even more pissed that I put myself through 3 hours of that miserable football game. And that was not a football game with good defense at all. That was a football game with 2 offenses that was just absolutely trash. Trash. And Anthony Richardson was terrible, at least throwing the ball, and they escaped with a win. So let's go over stats for today's game. Tua Tyler Huntley, before he got injured, he was 7 of 13, 87 yards, and 1 touchdown. Tim Boyle was 8 of 13 with 74 yards. So combined, those two were 15 of 26, 161 passing yards, and 1 touchdown. Devon Achane, 15 carries, 77 yards. Raheem Mostert, 11 carries, 50 yards. Jalen Wright, 5 carries, 33 yards. And the only reason Jalen Wright started to get carries was because Raheem Mostert fumbled the football. Raheem Mostert, by the way, you are a loser, bro. Fuck you. Dropping you in fantasy next week. I don't care. And Tyler Huntley, 5 carries for 20 yards. And we get to the receiving. And the only guy who showed up in the receiving game was Jonnu Smith, who had 7 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. And when I tell you this, you guys see it up on the screen already, but when I tell you this is going to absolutely blow your mind. Today, and they talked about this numerous of times on the broadcast, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill had a combined 2 catches for 19 yards and 4 targets. Let me say that again. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill had a combined 2 catches for 19 yards on 4 targets. Do you know who I'm going to blame on this? I'm not going to blame Jalen Waddle. I'm not going to blame Tyreek Hill. I'm going to blame Mike McDaniel. Because the fact that you have these guys still running downfield like Tua is the fucking quarterback is crazy. No jet sweeps. No hitches, no slants, no curl routes to make it easier for the quarterback. Tyler Huntley can't throw the football. Tim Boyle can't throw the football. And yet they're still running downfield. Like, you're still having them run routes downfield like Tua is the fucking quarterback. It's ridiculous, man. It is absolutely ridiculous, the play calling from Mike McDaniel. And it's not going to change because of a quarterback change. It's not going to change because Tua's back. I'm telling you right now. For the Colts stats, Anthony Richardson, 10 for 24, 129 yards. Anthony Richardson also ran the ball 14 times for 56 yards. Tyler Goodson, 14 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Trey Sermon, 8 carries for 36 yards. Michael Pittman had 3 catches on 63 yards. And Nye Mitchell had 2 catches for 30 yards. And yeah, that's about it. Not really that much of offensive stats to get into. So let's get into this thing. To start the game in the first quarter, the Colts go 3 and out. The Dolphins go 3 and out. The Colts go 3 and out. So yeah, not the best stuff to start the game. But on the next drive, the Dolphins, they go 5 plays, 58 yards. And I actually got a little bit of hope after this drive. But they had Devon Achane for 5 yards, Devon Achane for 2 yards. There was an offsides penalty on Raekwon Davis. So it's first down for the Dolphins. 2nd and 7, Devon Achane for 6 yards. And on 3rd and 1, Tyler Huntley up the middle for 2 yards and a first down. They kept running the ball. 2nd and 6 at the Indianapolis 31. Tyler Huntley to Jonnu Smith for 18 yards. Raheem Mostert runs it down to the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal. Tyler Huntley takes a sack. No idea why we were throwing the ball in that situation. And also, too, man, a lot of the issues today with Huntley was the fact that he was holding on to the ball for too long, afraid to rip it downfield. trying to check it down too much. But again, I'm blaming that on Mike McDaniel because you're supposed to simplify the offense for Tyler Huntley. Did he do that? Fuck no. But on 3rd and 10, 3rd and goal, Huntley throws a screen pass to Jonnu Smith, and it's a touchdown. So the Dolphins, they get on the board. They lead 7-0. Colts on their next drive, Tyler Goodson for 19 yards. Tyler Goodson for 9 yards. 3rd and 1, Trey Sermon for 4 yards and a first down. Then 2nd and 2, Anthony Richardson goes to Adonai Mitchell for 14 yards. And then 3rd down, Anthony Richardson scrambles left, 22 yards, first down for the Colts. And on 2nd and goal, fumble exchange between Anthony Richardson and the running back. Zach Sealer dives on the ball with his helmet falling off, and Zach Sealer gets the fumble recovery. Only a couple guys actually came off that bus today and was ready to play. Zach Sealer, Calais Campbell, Devon Achane, and Jonnu Smith. Those are the only guys that showed heart today and came off that bus ready to play. That's it. Those are the only 4 out of 53 guys. Only 4 players showed up today. Zach Sealer, Calais Campbell, Jonnu Smith, and Devon Achane. That's it. That's it. Dolphins go 7 plays for 29 yards, and what killed this drive was penalty after penalty after penalty. So because of all those penalties, they punt. The Colts then go 3 and out. The Dolphins go 8 plays for 3 yards, and on the next drive, again, they have penalty issues. 2nd and 1, Raheem Mostert for 32 yards gets called back. Offensive holding from Durham Smythe. But that's actually a call that I didn't agree with. I did not think that was a holding call on Durham Smythe at all. He was not holding onto the defender. That was a bad call, in my opinion. But then Tyler Huntley for 6 yards. And Tyler Huntley gets the first down. And on the next play, Liam Eichenberg gets called for a face mask. So it's 1st and 24. Then it's 2nd and 23. And it's offensive offsides on Jonnu Smith. Tyler Huntley throws it to Odell. Odell drops it. And we punt. The Colts, they go 5 plays, 14 yards, and they punt. They only get 14 plays on that drive. Then the Dolphins, they put together a nice drive. 9 plays, 65 yards. Tyler Huntley on a wheel route to Alec Ingold for 25 yards. Devon Achane up the middle for 14 yards. So in 2 plays, Miami gets themselves into field goal range. Devon Achane for 6 yards. 3rd and 3, Tyler Huntley to Jonnu Smith for 13 yards. 3rd and 4, Tyler Huntley throws it to Odell. Incomplete. Jason Sanders makes the 33-yard field goal. It is 10-0 Miami. So, there's 30 seconds left. There's 22 seconds left. 22 seconds left. And I hate that Miami was playing prevent defense. Anthony Weaver was playing prevent defense on this possession. First play, Anthony Richardson goes deep to Alec Pierce, who was wide open, but Alec Pierce dropped it. Then on the very next play, Michael Pittman, 33 yards right down the middle, just runs by Kader Kohu like it's no one's business and gets down to the Miami 37. At that point, They are well set up in field goal range. Matt Gay makes the 52-yard field goal, and that gave the Colts a spark, and it gave them momentum going into halftime. And I tweeted out, those 3 points are going to come back and bite you in the ass. And wouldn't you know, those 3 points came back and bit them in the ass. It bit them in the ass today. So it's 10-3 going into the half. Miami, they get the ball to start the second half. Devon Achane gets a 12-yard game on the first play. And then they punt after that. In Indianapolis, they go 3 and out. And then right here, Raheem Mostert, first play, 1 play, 7 yards. Fumble. Defender takes it back for 18 yards. And you set the Colts up at your 28-yard line. You put the defense in a terrible position when they just got off the field. And this was an easy touchdown drive for the Colts. That one play by Raheem Mostert changed the entire game. Again, Raheem Mostert, you're a loser. Fuck off. I honestly hope they trade Raheem Mostert at the trade deadline, because he's probably not going to be here next year, and we need to see Jalen Wright and Devon Achane get most of the bulk in the backfield. They need to get more of the carries in the backfield. They need to stop with Raheem Mostert. Now that you're 2-4, shit, you are selling at the trade deadline. And I'll get to that in another video. Probably tomorrow. Oh, no, not tomorrow, because I'm actually going to Raw tomorrow night. So, Tuesday we'll talk about that. But on this drive, Anthony Richardson gets a 12-yard run. Ashton Doolin gets a 12-yard run. And on second and goal, Tyler Goodson, 7-yard touchdown. Game is tied 10-10. And on third down, they go 3 and out the next drive. And on 3rd and 11, Tyler Huntley got hurt with his shoulder. And you saw him walking back. He was not moving his right shoulder at all. Yeah, third down. They brung the pressure with Jalen Ramsey. Anthony Richardson was sacked. It was a sack fumble. Chop Robinson picked up the fumble. Jalen Ramsey forced it, and they reversed it because his arm was moving forward. And I'm not going to be biased. His arm was actually moving forward. So, they made the right call. But now, Tim Boyle is in at quarterback. It is 10-10. And you got a great first 2 plays from Jalen Wright. He gets you 9 yards. He gets you 19 yards. He gets you down to their 27-yard line. Third down, Boyle throws a dart to Jonnu Smith. I'm like, okay. Tim Boyle's first drive is not looking bad. Maybe we can get some points out of this. I thought so wrong, man. Because the next play, it is first down on their 12-yard line. Not the 2, not the 1, their 12-yard line. And Mike McDaniel decides to call a full back dive to Alec Ingold. He fumbles it. Zaire Franklin forced a fumble, and Indy recovered. Indy went 3 and out on the next possession. Miami, they went 3 and out on the next possession. And then Indianapolis, they go 12 plays, 12 plays, 69 yards, and we'll get to the ending sequence here in a minute. But Richardson gets 16 yards to Mitchell, 13 yards to Trey Sermon. So the Colts' run game gets going in this drive. 3rd and 8, Anthony Richardson to Alec Pierce for 10 yards. Trey Sermon for 11 yards. Trey Sermon for 6 yards. Trey Sermon for 7 yards. And then they go 3 straight passes. I don't understand why they stopped running the ball. But after the running game got them down to the 8-yard line, Shane Steichen called 3 straight passes and incomplete each time. So, the ball is at the Miami 20. It's at the Miami 4-yard line. They're get ready to kick the field goal. Then all of a sudden, Anthony Richardson runs onto the field. The punter and the kicker are wideouts. And here comes moron McDaniel sprinting down the field towards the officials to call timeout. And the Indianapolis Colts, they got exactly what they wanted. They were never... God, dude. This coach is a fucking moron. They baited Mike McDaniel into calling a timeout. That's why they ran Anthony Richardson onto the field. Bro, they were never going to run a play with the kicker and punter as wideouts. And Mike McDaniel, he fell for that shit immediately. Fell for it immediately. Sprints down the field like a moron and wastes a timeout. He wastes the timeout on a play that they were never going to run, bro. Never. So now the Colts are up 13-10. And you actually have, again, you have a decent drive going. Tim Boyle to Jonnu Smith for 18 yards. Raheem Mostert, 14 yards, first down. Raheem Mostert loses 2 yards. But then Tim Boyle finally gets the ball to Jalen Waddle. They're on the Indianapolis 36-yard line. And 3rd and 1. You see Alec Ingold in that backfield. You know exactly what they're going to do. They give this ball to Alec Ingold, and Indianapolis knew exactly what was coming. Alec Ingold does not get the first down. And on this play, I actually would have liked for them to go for it here to kill more time. But they elected to kick the 54-yard field goal, and Jason Sanders hit the left upright. Again, I'm blaming that possession on Mike McDaniel. I'm blaming that on Mike McDaniel because you know exactly what they were going to do. They knew exactly what you were going to do, man. Your offense is so predictable. It is so predictable. Of course they knew you were giving that ball to Alec Ingold. And you fell for it. You fell for it, man. Indianapolis, they go 9 plays, 36 yards. They get all the way down to the 20-yard line. Matt Gay, 38-yard field goal. So now Tim Boyle and the Dolphins have a minute 55 with no timeouts. Did you really think Tim Boyle was going to lead them to a game-winning drive? Did you really think Tim Boyle was going to lead this team to a game-winning drive? Absolutely not. Tim Boyle to Tyreek Hill. Hey, Tyreek on the catch. 8 yards. Tim Boyle to Jonnu Smith for 10 yards. They're in midfield. Tim Boyle to Malik Washington, 7 yards. After that play, or not after this play. Tim Boyle, 4 yards. It's not after this play. Tim Boyle to Von Achan, 9 yards. Okay. After that play to Achan, after the 9 yards, you should have spiked the ball right there. Should have spiked the ball right then and there. And then Boyle to Devon Achan, lost the yard. Clock is running. They're wasting precious amount of time. And then Tim Boyle decides to spike it with 11 seconds left. And on the final play of the game, Boyle throws the ball out of bounds. He probably didn't even know what fucking down it was. And that's the game. That's your game. 16-10 over the 16-10 Colts over the Miami Dolphins. Just absolutely miserable. Waste of a 3-hour game. I wonder what excuses McDaniel is going to make in the podium on the press conference. And yeah, man. Everything about this team is a fucking joke. They are now 2-4. Tua's coming back. Do you honestly care? Do you honestly care? Because I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Tua Tagovailoa is not going to save this season for the Miami Dolphins. He's not going to. What the fuck, man? I go into the game knowing they're going to lose. Knowing they are going to lose. And yet here I am. Here I am. I have nothing. I have nothing. And you know what the worst thing about all of this is? The worst thing about all of this. There's 11 more games left. I just want this fucking season to be over, man. I really just want the season to be over. But hey, at least the Sixers start this week. Peace.